Hi, it's Robert Mitchell here at the 2010 Festival of Fear, and the woman beside me is the very wonderful Heather Langenkamp. Welcome to Festival of Fear.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here this year.
You had a great weekend?
It was a great weekend. I have to say it's one of the best conventions/festivals I've ever attended.
And one thing I wanted to ask you is, everybody knows you as Nancy, obviously from the Nightmare on Elm Street films, but you actually have switched hats recently in the past couple of years as a producer for some very exciting projects. I Am Nancy and Never Sleep Again. Can you talk about how you became a producer recently?
Well, I've always had a lot of ideas about films that I wanted to make, and actually starting with documentaries is kind of the most hands-on way to get started in the film industry because it's relatively inexpensive, and so I just decided last year to work on first we did Never Sleep Again, which is a comprehensive documentary about all 8 of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I worked in partnership with 2 really great producers and a writer who just did most of the work, frankly. But I gave them help getting some of the guests that we really needed to make the documentary really shine, like Wes and Robert Englund and some of the others. So after doing that work, kind of at the same time, I've been making my documentary about being Nancy Thompson, and it's something that when we had the 25th anniversary last year, it became really clear to me that Freddy's really part of our culture, whether we like it or not. And Freddy Mania is something that I think we take for granted. So I kind of studied that a little bit, and I asked the question, well, where does Nancy, what is her part in all of this? And I had come up with some humorous conclusions, and I hope people will know that a lot of it is tongue-in-cheek, but a lot of it's really serious too, about heroes and how we worship heroes nowadays. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, so I even slipped up once or twice talking about you today, saying Nancy,
Yes.
How does it feel all these years later to be still remembered so fondly as Nancy?
Well, at first I don't think it ever even occurred to me that the movie was very important. And then at the 10th year anniversary and the 20th, I got more Nancy, like people talking to me like I'm Nancy. And I realized, wow, this is going to be an important movie in film history. And now at the 25th anniversary, I'm actually really flattered that people think of me as her, because I'm nothing really like Nancy. I'm not near as brave or true or loyal or cool as she is.
Now that you've been producing these documentaries, is that something you would like to pursue more of?
Yeah, I really want to move into actually directing, fictional, feature films or short films. Try that next, because one thing about shooting documentaries is you learn a great deal about the camera and, just dramatic action. I mean, you can get really dramatic situations to evolve out of real life, and it kind of inspires you to go on and do fiction, and that's my next goal.
Well, we talked about you with editors and that, trying to find the right editor to create the right energy for the documentary.
Right. It's you realize, I think any director would probably acknowledge that the editor is maybe second, third most important person in the room besides them, your actors and the director, because they have so much to do with the pacing and what ends up on screen. How they interpret the story is very important. So I've learned that lesson in the last year, and we have a really great editor named Troy Bogert who's helping us. And he's fast and edgy and cutting edge, and has like a really youthful sense of what people expect to see, and so he's helping a lot.
And one last question, you are getting ready to submit to the film festival soon?
Yeah, so I hoped that I would be done by now, but we've made a firm deadline for the end of this, end of August, first week of September, and then I'm going to spend the winter and the spring hopefully taking the film to film festivals, and then having some kind of distribution in place for next summer or early summer.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's such a nice thing